I've been working full-time on my first software startup for the past 2 years. We started in the student government office, worked back home at my mom's house, got our own small workspace, and eventually were able to afford our own apartment again. The business is doing well. It provides us a steady income for my co-founder and I to have our own space and work at it every day. Most people in this situation will probably try to push the product harder and aim to scale up. Well, I actually decided to take a different route. I'm pulling back on adding new features and shifting my energy towards launching new software businesses. This was a tough decision to come to and took me a lot of thinking to come to this conclusion. So I thought to share my thought process with you to hopefully give you a new perspective and save you from making the same mistakes. Dashbill is my first software company. I started in college and it automates the process of membership fee collection for organizations. Things were running smoothly at first. We were getting customers from our competitors as we built new features to provide more value. However, we hit a point where we didn't have any more features to build and our customers were just satisfied. Well, you're probably thinking, isn't that great? Because that means your current users are already happy with the product. We're getting paid and our churn rate is low. Well, not necessarily. Let me explain. A lot of first-time founders, myself included, initially believe that just making our product better and cheaper will automatically make people switch over, but they don't define how much better. Peter Thiel, the co-founder of PayPal and the first investor of Facebook, said in his book 0 to 1, technology must be at least 10 times better than its closest substitute. Anything less than an order of magnitude better will probably be perceived as a marginal improvement and will be hard to sell. In a way, you have to provide an offer that is too good to be refused by the masses, and the offer needs to be clear. To add more value, you often need to keep building more features and improving the application to make it better. This leads to a problem that I do not have more features to build. If I want to get the strong growth rate, it requires me to build new stuff that provides an immense amount of new value. And oftentimes, when we were growing the business, my co-founder and I felt like we were pushing a boulder up a hill. It was a very rigorous sales process of just cold outreaching to potential customers, and we couldn't get to the growth rate we want. First path is straightforward. We keep doing what we're doing with Dashbill, grind away at it, and just get growth by just brute forcing our way through and reaching more customers. However, the cost of that is that we simply can't start new businesses because we don't have the focus, the time, or the energy to be able to do that. And the second path is to leave Dashbill running and start other new businesses. If we start a new business in a market that we can 3 or 10x the current market solution, we can actually achieve way more growth and increase us much more financially. So the cost of grinding away and getting marginal growth is actually hurting us, because now the opportunity cost is that we can't start a new business that can potentially boom. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button for me. It's free and it really helps out my channel. Well, I'm sure this all makes a lot of sense to you right now. However, it actually took my co-founder and I months to come to this conclusion. We should have made this decision earlier, but we just want this idea to work. When you start a business, it takes over your life in many ways. You feel a profound sense of responsibility for it, tending to its needs and dreaming that it grows into something amazing. And to be frank with you, it was so challenging to come to this decision. Because naturally, entrepreneurs have a lot of grit. And in a way, you think you are quitting on it. But the truth is, that is not how things work in business. In my favorite business book, $1 Million Weekend, it describes a business like surfing. You can be the best surfer with the best surfboard, but if you don't have the right wave, you can't surf. Dashbill is an amazing software and business. It got us through the hardest part, having paying customers, and we actually built something people would pay for. However, the wave isn't big enough to take us to the new heights we want to be at. Deep down inside, I knew this, but I just didn't want to accept it. If you look at other entrepreneurs, how many of them worked on their first business and stuck with it for the rest of their lives? Before Bill Gates started Microsoft, his first company actually sold traffic counting systems to local governments. And OpenAI's CEO, Sam Altman's first company was actually called Loot. It was a location-based social network. But a lot of times, starting a new business kind of goes against the entrepreneur's personality. And you believe that with hard work you can make anything work, but that personality can often backfire on you. You can either call it stubbornness or resilient. With every trait, there's a good and bad side to it. Depends on which side you go to. So to simplify everything, I came up with 3 questions. After asking yourself these 3 questions, you should have a clear picture of what to do next. The first one is, what opportunity are you giving up? So with Dashbill, if I can't start new software businesses, I'm kind of left with only one choice of trying to keep brute forcing and getting aggressive growth through this method. But on the flip side too, if I do see a path that can potentially give me that large growth rate, right, I should definitely attempt that before trying to start a new software company. Which really leads to our second point, like, have you tried all the marketing strategies that you know? And again, talking about my favorite book, The $1 Million Weekend, I think it describes marketing very well. It kind of talks about like marketing is actually pretty straightforward. Obviously, there's some creativity to it, but a lot of the methods are already out there and you probably know them already. It's really not rocket science. And it's really simple for marketing. You find the one that works and you double down on it. If there aren't one that you can get that large growth with, it's really time to kind of consider maybe it's the product or your market that is causing the issue. After the phase of getting paying customers, it's really about how can I get that large growth rate that I'm looking for. And the third thing is you got to be honest with yourself and really ask yourself, do you believe in this business and have you really exhausted everything? This one is super straightforward, but it's hard to be done. And something that I did that really helped me is that like I would maybe go in nature, so somewhere outdoors, and to put everything external aside and really dig deep on what I believe in, right? So I try to put aside of what my friends would think if I quit, any of my family members, right? If you have raised venture capital, maybe what would the VC think? What would society think? Try to put all those things aside and ask yourself, do you believe in it? And try to justify in your head with logical evidence. And when I start doing these different steps and really think deeply about things, I'm able to think a lot more clearly and help me come to a conclusion. So talking about starting a business, I also have a video right here basically talking about how I started with Dashboard, my first software company. I document the whole journey. So if you enjoyed this one, you definitely want to check that one out. I hope you have a good day today and I'll see you next one. Bye.